stories around the world to stories here at home. This is the National News Broadcast. I'm Chamindi Samarasekara.
I'm Win Hettiarachchi, and here are today's headlines. 41 presidential election candidates make deposits. Acceptance of nominations ends at 11 a.m. tomorrow. The authority to make a decision on behalf of the SLFP regarding the presidential election given to the president. Prime Minister says that Rajapakshas who made the public suffer will not be allowed to regain power. The historic sacred premises of Mihintale declared a national heritage. Results of the Grade 5 scholarship examination and cut-off marks released.
Now for the news in detail. A ceremony awarding the epistle to Venerable Yakkhaduwe Sri Rahula Thera in appointing him to the post of Deputy Chief Adhikarana Sanganayaka of the Siyanaya Korale was held today. This was under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. The President visited the Gampaha Pahalayagoda Sri Sugathanandanarama Purana Vihara and engaged in religious observances this evening and obtained blessings. The Anunayaka of the Malwatha chapter of Shamopali Mahanikaya, the Most Venerable Niyangoda Vijitha Thera, presented the relevant epistle to the new Deputy Chief Adhikarana Sanganayaka Thera. The honorary title of Saddharma Kirtha Sri Gunaratna Panyabasa was bestowed upon Venerable Yakkhaduwe Sri Rahula Thera on behalf of the service rendered to the Sambuddha Sasana. The new relics chamber of the temple was declared open by the President. A group including Mahasangha and devotees were present on this occasion.
Deposits have been made by the most number of candidates in the history of the presidential elections. 41 candidates made deposits during the period for making deposits, which ended 12 noon today. 8 candidates made deposits today. Accordingly, the Election Commission said that 19 political parties, 3 other political parties and 19 independent candidates made deposits. Acceptance of nominations will take place between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. tomorrow at Rajkiriya Election Secretariat. Objections can be submitted between 11 a.m. and 12 noon. Chairman of the Elections Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, said due to the increasing the number of candidates contesting, an additional sum of 1,000 million rupees, more than the estimated expenditure for the presidential elections, will have to be spent. The sum estimated to be spent on the presidential elections is 4,000 million rupees. More than 1,600 police officers will be deployed for direct services of the elections. A discussion was held this morning between senior police officers and Election Commission this morning. The special traffic plan will be implemented tomorrow, the police media spokesman SP Ruwan Gunasekara said. Police media spokesman SP Ruwan Gunasekara said that the traffic plan will be in operation during tomorrow when nominations are handed over, mainly Sri Jawadhanapura Road, the Old Kote Road. The traffic plan will be in operation from 6 a.m. tomorrow. He requested the public to use alternative reuse routes as much as possible. Apart from buses, heavy vehicles will not be allowed into these areas. All supporters who arrived will be checked. This will be done through 10 security counters. Rallies and marches will be banned at the end of the presidential election and release of final results until a lapse of 1 week. Meanwhile, a meeting between Election Commission and the representatives of the presidential candidates was held this evening. It is reported that on this occasion, handing over of nominations tomorrow and upcoming presidential election was subject to discussion.
The Elections Commission emphasized that under whatever circumstances, all required actions will be taken to hold the presidential election as specified. The Commission requested that all citizens should support it. The Elections Commission points out that a free and fair election with transparency of trust can be held only if government employees give their maximum support. Therefore, the Election Commission requests all government employees to set up an environment where they can work without any obstructions. The Commission has informed relevant authorities to take possible action for that purpose. The Elections Commission also requested all government employees to refrain from engaging in continuous strikes during the relevant period.
The Central Committee of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party has handed over the decision of determining the stance of the party at the presidential election to President Maithripala Sirisena. This decision was arrived during the Sri Lanka Freedom Party Central Committee meeting held yesterday. The Central Committee met under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena last night. A lengthy discussion was held on the stance of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party at this presidential election. Subsequent to the meeting, SLFP seniors expressed their views at functions held today. Media spokesman of the SLFP, Veerakumara Disanayaka, said that all ideas, suggestions of the Central Committee were handed over to the President to enable him to make a final decision. These were given to be able to make a decision which can commit towards the victory of the progressive people of this country. Everyone needs a strength for this. General Secretary of the UPFA, Mahinda Amaravira, said that a media discussion can be held tomorrow. It's quite possible, he said, that the President will make the statement. It has been proposed at present during this election, the symbol of Pohottua will be used and the symbol of chair to be used at the general election. Senior Vice President of SLFP, Nimar Siripara De Silva, said that a period for making deposits has ended. SLFP has rejected the idea of submitting a candidate. He said that they have to either support Sajith or Gotabaya and it will be determined on the political wheel. He also said that the decision of making behalf of the SLFP was handed over to the President.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the Rajapaksas who made the public suffer will not be allowed to regain power. The Prime Minister requested at the United National Party Colombo District Balamandala meeting held today to provide support to take forward further the work of the government which was carried out during the past. The district Balamandala meeting was held under the patronage of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and presidential candidate of the United National Party Sajith Premadasa. Seniors of the party, including leader of the Colombo district Ravi Karunanayaka, were present.
ආරාධනා කරනවා කොළඹ දිස්ත්‍රික් එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂ කළමනාකරු සිංහ ලසන්ත ගුණවර්ධන මැතිතුමනි ඔබතුමා
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that they will not allow the Pohottua to raise their heads. He also said that the Rajapaksas who aim blows at the stomach of people will not be allowed to come back into power. The candidate of the Pohottua, the Premier, said should tell everyone why he could not increase salaries and to reduce the prices of goods and why he should be made president. The new name of the Rajapaksa family is Pohottua. They should be asked whether the country should be handed over to them so that they can increase prices of goods and reduce salaries. He asked them to come to the stage to debate and tell the people about this. He told everybody that they should act to vote for the sworn and to make Sajith the president in order to ensure that the progress achieved in 5 years be taken forward further.
රටේ අපි අවුරුදු 5ක් ආරම්භ කරපු ප්‍රගතිය ඉදිරියට ගෙනියන්න එදාට හංසයට ඡන්දෙ දීලා සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාසව ජනාධිපති කරවන්න අපි ක්‍රියා කරමු කියලා අපි කියනවා.
Presidential candidate Minister Sajith Premadasa said that on November 16th, when the people elect the next president of this country with a massive mandate, he will get rid of nepotism in politics from the motherland in a democratic manner. He said that when carrying out development in the country, learned and talented persons as well as the generation of youth will be given the maximum strength possible and they will be appointed as marchers in the forefront of the future of the country.
විශේෂඥයින්ට හැකියාව තියෙන අයට විශේෂයෙන්ම තරුණ පරපුරට මෙදා පාර දෙන්න පුළුවන් ඉහළම ශක්තිය ලබා දීලා රටේ අනාගතේ පෙරමග ගමන් කරුවන් බවට අපි තරුණ පරපුර පත් කරගන්නෝයි කියන එක මේ අවස්ථාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
Minister Ravi Karunanayaka said that they have to win with 7 million votes. He said a UNP president is required. This presidential election will be won with a majority of more than 235,000 votes in the Colombo district. Meanwhile, the United National Party Polonnaruwa District Farmers Conference was held in Polonnaruwa this morning. This was under the patronage of the UNP presidential candidate Minister Sajith Premadasa. This conference was organised by Member of Parliament Nalaka Kolonne, and it was held with the participation of a large number of the farming community. People's representatives including Minister Daya Gamage were present on this occasion. Presidential candidate of the UNP Sajith Premadasa said that in agrarian and agricultural colonies in this country, a special export program will be implemented. They are waiting greedily to see how they could come into temple trees. That is not to provide security to farmers, fishermen, workers and government employees, but to reign supreme in their palaces. They are trying to use tax money paid by the public and destroy the motherland. He said the national agriculture policy will be launched.
Non-cabinet minister Ajit P. Pereira said that Gotabaya Rajapaksa will be invited to participate in 3 debates based on policy facts with Minister Sajith Premadasa. He made these comments at a media briefing held today in Colombo. The non-cabinet minister Ajit P. Pereira said that the debate that will be held yesterday is over. Everyone in the country is saying that Gotabaya Rajapaksa went into hiding and that he is incapable and that he cannot speak without a legal teleprompter. What he said was proved. He said they would like to give him another opportunity and he will be invited to another debate on policy-wise facts between him and Sajith Premadasa. He said Gotabaya Rajapaksa will be invited for 3 debates based on the American system since he is and his son are American citizens. He said that it will be arranged for the debate to be telecasted live through all media. He said that they prefer to organize it through a committee comprising of representatives of both parties.
Presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Pudujana Peramuna Gotabaya Rajapaksa signed his nomination papers this morning at his home in Mirihana today. Opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa and a group of representatives of Sri Lanka Pudujana Peramuna were present on this occasion. Subsequently, Mahinda Rajapaksa expressed his views to the media. Opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa said in response to a question raised by journalists as to what happened during the SLFP Central Committee meeting that he believes that a very advantageous decision to them would be given. The problem is, since a deposit has been made under a certain symbol, one cannot contest through another party. If it is something that will require going to courts, the contest will be under the support to a symbol and it will gain victory. It is a winning symbol, he further said.
The presidential candidate of the National People's Power, Anurukumara Dissanayake, says that his party is engaging with politics in the objective of providing a better life for the people. He made these comments at a rally organized this evening at Beruala. This rally was organized on the behalf of the victory of the election of National People's Power. A group of people, including people's representatives of Janata Vimukti Peramuna, were present on this occasion. Presidential candidate of the National People's Power, Anurukumara Dissanayake, said former Agricultural Minister S.B. Dissanayake prior to him had been given a bulletproof vehicle which did only 5 kilometers per litre of fuel. He questioned how this can be maintained. It was handed over to the President's office saying that they did not need such a vehicle. He said they do not have an unclean conscience to waste public money and property. He said that they engage in politics with the objective of providing a better life for the people. This country can be built up from the very top. He requested that they be given the opportunity to clean the top.
The the historic Mihintale sacred area was declared as a national heritage under the patronage of Minister Sajith Premadasa. The relevant official missive was handed over to the chief incumbent of the Mihintale Rajamahawihara and trustee Venerable Rupavahini Dhammaratana Thera this evening. This step was taken to protect the historic incidents and archaeological heritages on behalf of the future generation that exist centered on the historic Mihintale sacred area, which is considered to be the place of birth of the Buddha Sasana in Sri Lanka. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe arrived at the Mihintale sacred area and engaged in religious observances. Religious rites were conducted by the chief incumbent of the Mihintale Rajamahawihara, Venerable Rupavahini Dhammaratana Thera. Renovation work was observed by the Prime Minister. An almsgiving was held on behalf of 1,500 bhikkhus. The Prime Minister also participated in it.
The results of the Grade 5 scholarship examination were released today. The minimum number of marks in Sinhala media for medium force districts of Colombo, Gampaha, Kalutara, Kandy, Martale, Gal, Agmathara, Kagala and Kurunegala is 159. The minimum number of marks in Tamil media for the districts of Colombo, Gampaha, Kalutara, Kandy, Martale, Gal, Mathara, Kagala and Kurunegala is 154. The scholarship examination was held on 4th of August across the island at 2,995 centres. 332,179 students sat for the examination. The number of students who applied to sit for it was 339,410 students. The number of students receiving financial assistance was increased from 15,000 to 20,000 students. 250 scholarships have been allocated for students with special requirements. Results sheets of the schools in Colombo and Sri Jayawardenepura zones can be obtained by the heads of the relevant schools from the school's examination organisation and the results branch of the examination department after 9 in the morning tomorrow. The results of other schools are due to be posted. If a student requires recorrection, they can submit an appeal through the relevant school's principals prior to October 21st. Results can be obtained through the website www.doe.nets.lk.
Former Foreign Secretary Asala Veerakorn has been appointed as the next Secretary General of South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation known as SAARC. The senior diplomat will function as the 14th Secretary General of SAARC with effect from March 1st, 2020. The informal meeting of the Council of Ministers of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation was held in New York recently. The meeting was held in parallel to the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly. The meeting was chaired by the Foreign Minister of Nepal, Pradeep Kumar Gyawali. Foreign ministers of the member nations of the SAARC were present for this meeting. Foreign Secretary Ravinatha Aryasinghe represented Sri Lanka at the meeting. The SAARC Ministers of Foreign Affairs reviewed the progress made in the past year and emphasized the importance of regional cooperation for enhanced trade, investment, connectivity, tourism, culture, security, peace and stability. The nomination of former Foreign Secretary and senior career diplomat Asala Veerakorn was approved at the informal meeting of the Council of Ministers of the SAARC as the 14th Secretary General of SAARC. He presently serves as the Senior Additional Secretary to the President.
State Minister Ashok Abesinghe says that from tomorrow, 30 trains will be in operation for employees of the both private and state sectors. He said that the employees who do not report for work will be considered to have vacated their posts. The State Minister made these remarks at a media briefing held in Kurunegala. State Minister Ashok Abesinghe said this is a very unfair strike. While they receive salaries of more than 300,000 rupees from people's tax money, it is unfair to inconvenience the public. They requested a discussion and 4 were provided. They said that they will agree, but later they do not do so. The discussions will be arranged only if they return to work. The General Manager of Railways was ordered to implement his authority to maintain the institution. Army Commander had a discussion with them. He said he requested permission to train some Army personnel as engine drivers, and that was granted. Employees are gradually reporting for work, but others are trying to influence them. Police protection has been provided for every railway engine based on requests. The Army is providing security at railway stations.
කතා කරනවා ඔවුන්ට බලපෑම් කරනවා. ඔවුන්ට බලපෑම් කිරීම නිසා මට
One of the world's leading liver transplant experts, Professor Mohammed Rilla, says that the dietary habits should be changed in order to avoid liver-related diseases. The highest number of cases related to liver diseases is recorded in Sri Lanka and southern part of India due to the similarities in the dietary patterns. Professor Mohammed Rilla made these remarks in an exclusive interview with the national television during his recent visit to Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka has a high incidence of liver disease compared to the other countries. Maybe South India and Sri Lanka are very similar. Part of the reason for this is that the dietary habits are very similar. Fatty liver disease is one of the most common causes of liver disease and liver cancer. And fatty liver disease comes in obese people, people with very sedentary habits, not really exercising or walking, and excessive consumption of carbohydrates. Our diet is very rich in rice. Our people eat rice 3 times a day, and that just accumulates in the liver over a period of time as fat. So unless we actually resort to healthy diet and to exercise and regular activity, the incidence of liver disease is not going to go down. That's fatty liver disease is now the most common cause of liver failure and liver cancer, and it's very common among Sri Lankans and South Asian patients. And therefore, we just need to alter these things in order to improve the health of the population.
Actress Michelle Dilhara, who acted in the popular drama Sudu and again Kalu Avidin of the national television, won an international award recently. She has won the award attributed to the valuable contributions made towards social well-being. Michelle Dilhara won the National Youth Icon Award at the World Youth Summit 2019 Award Festival in New Delhi. She received the award from the President of the International Youth Committee, Jayantha Patra. The award was presented for the book Social Invisibility is Not Fiction, It Exists, authored by Michelle Dilhara. The International Youth Committee is an independent, voluntary organization affiliated to the United Nations. Michelle Dilhara portrays the character Ioma, who is a teenage girl facing hardships of life. Sudu Andagena Kalu Avidin is her first major role, and she has gained vast popularity through the hit drama.
Weather forecast. The Met Department says that fairly heavy falls, about 75 millimeters, are expected to occur in several places in central Sabaragamuwa, north central, eastern and Uva provinces and in Mullaitivu and Vavuniya districts. Light showers may occur in the coastal areas at western, southern and eastern provinces and in Puttalam, Mana and Jaffna districts in the morning too. The Met Department has stated that heavy falls above 100 millimeters are likely to occur in some places in western Sabaragamuwa, central, north central and Uva provinces and in Trincomalee, Mullaitivu and Vavuniya districts tonight. Meanwhile, the Met Department stated that misty conditions can be expected in several places in Sabaragamuwa, central, Uva, eastern and north central provinces during the morning. General public has been cautioned to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers.
That's it for tonight's news update. Thank you for joining us. Good night.